More news, Melissa, on the Trump transition today. The Republican governor of Iowa, Terry Branstad, has accepted Mr. Trump's offer to serve as the new U.S. ambassador to China. Now, what's interesting about this, a Chinese foreign ministry spokesman earlier in the day referred to the governor as a, quote, old friend. So apparently the Chinese approve of this pick, right? Gordon Chang is here, the author of The Coming Collapse of China. But does that matter, Gordon? He's an old friend, we should point out, of Xi Jinping, the leader of China, right? They're both agriculture guys going back for years and years, apparently. Does that help?
Well, they first met in 1985, but it doesn't really matter whether he knows him for 31 years or 31 seconds, because Xi Jinping, the Chinese ruler, has actually identified the U.S. as China's strategic adversary, primary strategic adversary. He's ruthlessly pragmatic, so it doesn't matter whether his best friend or even his wife is the U.S. ambassador to China. He's got certain interests, and that's what's going to predominate.
And it's all about Trump at the top, I would think. Or maybe there's a little good cop, bad cop that the two of them can play, he and the governor, I don't know.
Yeah, there's a little bit of wiggle room and discretion on the part of, an ambassador, including the Secretary of State would have some room. But I think under a Trump administration, you're getting the sense that Trump is going to set the tone. He's also going to set the policies. We've seen this now. He's already started his first 100 days with all that he's done. With the Taiwan phone call, the carrier deal, Boeing, SoftBank. So, I think Trump is going to be very much an interventionist in this.
Well, it's interesting because we talk about all the time about a trade war, like that's a horrible thing. Trump actually used the term war referring to trade, saying trade is war. Did you hear that? So that's a funny way of putting it, right? Are we headed towards a trade war, whatever that might be?
No, because we're probably already in one right now. And the Chinese are waging it.
That's his point, right?
Yeah, the Chinese are waging it, and we pretend it doesn't exist. But we shouldn't be afraid of this, because last year China had a surplus against us of $334.1 billion. And in trade wars, it's the surplus countries that are in trouble. And we Americans ought to know that, because we were the trade surplus country in the 1930s. We're the ones who got hurt the most in the Great Depression. So, the U.S. has very little to lose by standing up for itself.
Maybe we've been asking the wrong question for many years about whether we're going into a trade war. As you say, maybe we're already there. Gordon, good to see you as always.